Okay, so I'm really in the mood for some more PlayStation shenanigans, so here we go. Here's an accessory review, if you like, and a quick look at an accessory for the PlayStation. A rather unconventional one by a company called Ascii. They make various third-party controllers for older consoles. You'll see them pop up over various systems. They usually make good quality products, and while this controller probably looks a bit gimmicky, it does actually have a purpose. It's not a chocolate teapot. Anyway, this is the PlayStation Ascii Grip, and as I said, it's made by the company Ascii, so that's why it's got the name, and it's probably obvious from looking at it, but it is intended to be a one-handed controller. So the idea behind this weird little guy is that you can play games with one hand. Now, you might be thinking, why the hell would I want to do that? This, as I said, does have a purpose. I believe it was designed specifically for playing turn-based, menu-driven RPGs, like the likes of Final Fantasy and other such delights that might appear on these consoles. And the point is that when you play a lot of these games on the original PlayStation, I don't know about anyone else, but when I used to play Final Fantasy 7 or 8 or 9, I used to end up holding the controller with just one of my hands, and the ergonomics of that are obviously a little bit, uncomfy, and I believe this was probably Ascii's response to that kind of play style. You could basically play an RPG on the original PlayStation, and you would have all the required buttons in reach of one hand. Now, you might think it looks daft, you might think it looks stupid. I've reviewed silly controllers before in the past. I believe there's a video on this channel to do with the glove, which was like a power glove for the PlayStation. It was terrible. But this isn't going to be so terrible. This is actually going to be quite functional, which you're going to see. It might not be for you, but it's no a complete waste of space. It does have its purpose. Anyway, best way to sort of show what this thing can do is show what this thing can do. So let's move to the TV. So we've migrated over to the TV. My console's already set up over there because of my last video, which was to do with the Action Replay adapter for the back of the console. That video is also on the channel, so if you want to check that out, that'd be great. But today we're having a look at the Ascii Grip controller. So, as I aforementioned, this thing is meant to be for RPGs, so I feel like I'd be shot down in flames if I didn't pop this in. Which, disclaimer, and I'm probably going to get shouted at for this, isn't my favourite Final Fantasy game on this console. That would be 9. But I thought, pander to the masses and all that. So, let's pop the disc in. And let's get going. I'll need to turn the console on because that's how technology works. So the controller's plugged in, and we'll just jump into it and I'll show you how this works in practice. Also, you can probably see my reflection in the screen again. Oh man, I really missed that classic PlayStation intro screen. It's something I stopped seeing as a kid because of that Action Replay, which is probably one of the downsides of using something that manipulates your console's startup procedure. Anyway, right. Final Fantasy 7. Now, I apologise, I don't know how my camera's going to react to the screen in terms of flicker and in terms of refresh rate, because filming CRTs is difficult. So we'll see. We'll just see what happens. I've also not got a memory card in, which is fine, because we'll just start from the beginning. I actually can't remember if we can skip past the intro screen, the intro sort of FMV sequence on this game, so I might have to jump cut. We'll see. It's doing the scrolly screen thing. Let me just see if I can fix that. I don't believe I can. I might jump cut to see if I can fix the refresh rate on the camera, because that might get annoying for some people. We'll see. Let me just see if I can just actually skip past. Okay, I've fooled about with the settings a little bit, so the screen should be at least a little bit more visible. Anyway, controller, game, let's go. So, just to demonstrate, the D-pad is obviously for movement and selection, just as it is on a normal controller. On the front of the pad, we have the triangle and the square buttons. We have basically 2 of each, which I'm not too sure why. It might just be a preference thing. It might actually be because this is suitable for right-handed and left-handed people, because yeah, accessibility. I'm all for accessibility. That's a good point. This controller is a great option for people looking for accessibility controllers for older consoles, or even for newer consoles. I'm sure you could probably get an adapter to get this thing working, which is something I might look at in the future. It's a really interesting concept. But yeah, anything that helps someone with accessibility, which this will in some sort of capacity, is okay in my book. So yeah, so as I was saying, triangle and square on the front. You've got L2 and R2 down at the bottom here, and L1 and R1. You've got select and start up the top of the controller, and at the back you actually have the more prominent buttons. So you have your X and you have your circle, because when you hold it you're going to be using your index finger on the back, so it allows you to press these buttons really, with ease, which is why it's so accessible. Using your thumb for controller movement, only having to stretch for occasional pressing of these buttons, which aren't as prominent in these games. Yeah. So, seems like it's going to be decent enough. Let's give it a go. So, pressing circle, because Final Fantasy is one of the games that actually uses the traditional input methods that were originally designed for the PlayStation. So circle means confirm or okay, and X means cancel, which can really muck you up when it comes to playing certain games. Anyway, can I skip past this? Just a side note while I wait for this FMV cutscene to finish. Do you really think that Final Fantasy VII needed a remake? Let me know down in the comments what you think. Right, okay, so just to demonstrate, I'll try and hold the controller up at the screen. It's probably going to be a little bit difficult, and I'll try and just play the game looking through the viewfinder. So, as you can see, Cloud goes forward, Cloud goes backwards. You can hold X at the back there to run if your heart desires it. I'm holding X, and yeah, let's get into this. So we're in a battle. Again, only real buttons I've used so far are the directional pad and circle and X. So, just goes to show that, I mean, why would you need a controller full of buttons and with different placement all over them? It's not really required. This is all you really need to play Final Fantasy VII. I need to say, it's quite weird to play it with one hand. It would certainly take some getting used to, but yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, seems fine to me. And to be honest, it sort of speaks for itself. You know what? Those of you that know me knew this was going to happen. I wasn't going to just stick to the basics and play a simple RPG, of which this controller was designed for. We're going to play Tekken with it. This is going to be absurd, but we're going to try our best. Let's go! This is weird. I've actually switched to using both my fingers on this sort of movement. I mean, this is exactly how to get RSI. it kind of feels like trying to play Tekken with like a Sky remote or something like that. It's kind of weird. I mean, obviously not the button placement, but you know, just the holding the controller like this. It's weird. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still handing Jin's arse to him on a plate. Doing some fake wrestling dive moves there, that was good. Kick to the face. This is... I think trying to coordinate my movement of my fingers is quite hard, because usually you're dividing it up between hands, which probably involves some different brain processes, but you know. Excuses, Phil, excuses. Oh, I mean, I won that match, so let's see how far I can go with this. The things you do when you're trapped in the house because of a pandemic virus. I like Lee's face there. That's quite, you know, like, what's this guy think he's doing sort of face. Tekken 3 really is a great fighter. It doesn't make any sense, but you know, it's a great fighter. Epic. Oh man, I can't believe I'm actually managing to win battles with this. Come on. Try and do some fancy stuff, but I can't quite get it to happen. Oh no! Come on. Right, okay. Before I humiliate myself anymore, I think I'm gonna give this a miss. So that was a quick look at the Ascii Grip Controller. Really interesting little device. Isn't useless. It is actually for playing RPGs, of which I might actually give it a go, playing it in a sort of serious capacity, because I'm planning on playing Legend of Dragoon, which is an RPG by Sony. It's actually sitting on the floor next to me here. Let me just show you it. This game, I'm going to give it a go. It's basically Final Fantasy. Yeah, so I'll let you know how I got on with that. I would also like to explore this controller in the future as part of a bigger project. I want to see if I can get these controllers working as sort of accessibility controllers for people with modern needs in gaming, like for modern games. Accessibility is a huge thing in gaming right now. Well, it's always been a huge thing in gaming, but it's a huge thing that's been ignored as games get more complex and harder. Yeah, I mean, you do get things like the Xbox Adaptive Controller, but everything's quite expensive. There's a lot of charities out there that are doing a lot of good work to try and, help with accessibility in games. Yeah, it would be a really cool thing to look at in the future, so I'm probably going to do that at some point. But yeah, that was a casual look at a quite interesting controller. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm probably going to make another video really soon, because what else am I doing? Catch you again soon.